This is a Chucky Beat production.
So hi, this is Rahul. Welcome to Gadget Freaks, and today I'm gonna make a video after a long time. And I was busy kind of for my exams. I had my test examination because I'm gonna appear in the final board examination of the school on the month of February, so I don't have much time. And I was also not ready to make a video, but finally I decided to make a video. And also I think I'm recording this video on the front camera of my Nokia 6.1, and this phone has got a Pi update. I'm also gonna make a full review on the Pi update later on, not in this video, but in this video I'm gonna talk about an interesting but a weird topic. So while I was using the Android phone, I suddenly decided to make a video on the Windows phone, and I also decided to use a Windows phone for some days, even 2 to 3 weeks. That was my plan, to use it as my primary device. And I just did some steps. I just put in my main Airtel SIM card on that phone. I just diverted all my calls on that SIM card. I just made a prepaid recharge of the unlimited calls and data. That means 1 GB per day, I think, yeah. I thought that would be enough for a Windows phone. And sadly speaking, I just could literally use that phone for only 1 week. Why? I will show you the reasons. So if it's the first time here, because just forgotten, my name is Rahul, and let's get started. And this is the phone that I'm using, the Nokia Lumia 730. It's a pretty decent phone and the successor of the Lumia 720, which is a pretty good phone in the Windows platform. This phone has Snapdragon 400 processor with 1GB of RAM and 8GB of internal storage, and the storage can be expanded via microSD card up to 128GB. It is a dual SIM version, but I'm using a single SIM, that's the Airtel one. On the back we have a 6 megapixel camera with a Zeiss optics, which should work pretty well, a single tone LED flash, and a secondary noise cancellation microphone. And on the bottom we have a speaker grill, and this is just a crack. And on the bottom we have a typical micro USB for charging and data syncing. On the top we just have a headphone jack. That really relaxing nowadays phone. On the right we have just for the volume rocker and the power button. Sadly Nokia had just removed the dedicated 2-step camera button from this kind of devices, but the Lumia 720 had it, so I just missed that feature. On the right we just don't have anything. Under the hood, this device has a 2200 kind of milliampere battery, and the main stuff is that the battery is pretty old now because it is a 2-year-old phone and the battery is pretty horrible. I think even the battery is damaged on this phone, so that was some reasons that I couldn't use the phone as my primary device for a long time. I had just planned to use it for 2 to 3 weeks, but I just ended up with 1 week that I told you earlier. Right now this phone is running on Windows Phone 10, and there is no update right now, but I just got an update just 1 month ago. I think I just got an update, and nowadays there is no update, sadly. And this is the interface that you look. I just love the blue color and the black accent. And if you just goes to extras, we're just gonna see that thing just like extras in info. We're just gonna see the Windows Phone 10. Let me just load. This is Nokia Lumia Windows 10. That's the whole thing. It has 1GB of RAM, and it also has this feature called single double tap to. You just hold this, it will just go in this space. That's the one-handed usage. It just goes down. If you just tap it here, it will just come back. But I think that in 2018, the phone with a 4.7-inch display, which is perfect according to me for a single-handed user's phone, that's not recorded. You can just reach this place and make it work. But still, that is available. It was basically for the phones, huge phones like the Lumia 950 XL and kind of stuff, but it's still available. The Lumia camera is removed up now. Now we have the Windows 10 camera, and the camera is pretty decent in the day-to-day performance. In normal day-to-day life, it's pretty good, and the flash is just excellent, I think. So yeah, that's the thing. But the camera is not impressive according to nowadays usage, but still I could take a very good photo in the natural lighting in outdoor. That was a pretty excellent photo, I would say, from this. And the front camera is a 5 megapixel camera in those days. That means it was a selfie-centric phone, but the camera is just bullshit nowadays. And according to speed, this phone kind of lags sometimes, and the main issue is that the non-availability of the important apps in the Windows App Store. For example, I wanna do Facebook as a 2018-ish youth, and as you can see, I'm using a Slim Social. That's a third-party Facebook app which just literally opens the Facebook web page. Yeah, the Microsoft Store has the stock Facebook app from the Facebook, but the irony is that you have to get about 2 GB of RAM in your phone to make it properly work, or otherwise it will crash. I had downloaded that app and it crashed. The Messenger app is pretty slow, and there is some beta version of the app. The Instagram also crashes, and I tried to use Instagram. It works sometime, but sometimes it just crashes on your face. So there is a Sixstack app that is also the most famous third-party Instagram handler or the client that works pretty well. And there is a WhatsApp that you get statuses pretty late, about 1 to 1.5 minutes late. The Group Music is app that's from the Xbox Music's replacement. We have games like Temple Run 2 and Subway Surfers, which works pretty well. And YouTube client like MyTube works pretty well, but the internet connection is kind of bad, and the main issue is that it has battery life. Its battery life is just disaster, but if you just keep that phone at there, it will give you about, I'm not using this phone right now. I just keep it at the corner of my house. The calls are also diverted from my Airtel SIM card, so it doesn't get any call. The net is always off, which I get 1 to 2 SMSs, and I generally get about 6 to 7 days of standby time. That's good, but if you have started using this phone, you are using it as a 2018-ish style, this phone will just literally drop in about 2 hours. The battery life is extremely bad, and that was the main reason for leaving this phone. And this phone will also not get any support. Famous games like the Dead Trigger 2 is just removed from here. You can't install the games like Asphalt Extreme, it will not run properly. There is also only one game, racing game like Asphalt 8, that will also not run well in nowadays. Asphalt 9 is also still not released on the Windows 10 mobile platform. So the Microsoft Edge is just slow like decades, and I am just using this Google. That's not the stock Google, it's just a web page, and it just opens the Google on the Microsoft page, and that works pretty well. And I was also using a browser called Surfy browser, as there's a third party one. I'm not liking that one. And what I would say, there are some apps like Xbox are installed. The Temple Run 2 works pretty well, and the main thing that I like about this phone is the OLED display. That means that blacks are really inky black, and which is the thing that I really miss on my Nokia 6.1. As you can see, the black is really inky. So yeah, as you can see, is the pure black. So that's the thing, and the phone is pretty good if you think according to the display. It's just an excellent phone with that OLED display. And I just put the brightness on high. I'm just gonna put it on automatic, so the brightness will go down. So yeah, that's it for now. Hope you like the video. Like, share, subscribe. Hope to see my next video. Signing off. Thank you. Bye bye now.